Once, long ago, in a land far away, there lived four little characters who ran through a maze looking for cheese to nourish them and make them happy. Two were mice named Sniff and Scurry, and two were little people, beings who were as small as mice, but who looked and acted a lot like people today. Their names were Hem and Hoa. Due to their small size, it would be easy not to notice what the four of them were doing. But if you looked closely enough, you could discover the most amazing things. Every day, the mice and the little people spent time in the maze looking for their own special cheese. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, possessing only a simple root brain but good instincts, searched for the hard-nibbling cheese they liked, as mice often do. The two little people, Ham and Hoa, used their brain, filled with many beliefs, to search for the very different kind of cheese, with a capital C, which they believed would make them feel happy and successful. As different as the mice and little people were, they shared something in common. Every morning they eat from their jogging suits and running shoes, left their little homes and raced out into maze looking for their favorite cheese. The maze was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, some containing delicious cheese, but there were also dark corner and blind alley. It was a dark corner, but there were also dark corner and blind alley leading nowhere. It was an easy place for anyone to get lost. However, for those who found their way, the maze held secrets that let them enjoy a better life. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, used the simple trials and error method of finding cheese. They ran down a corridor, and if it proved empty, they turned and ran down another. They remembered calling the half-tree and quickly into new areas. Sniff and smell out the general direction of cheese using his great nose, and Scurry was less ahead. They got lost, as you might expect. Went off in the wrong direction and often bumped into walls. However, the two little people, Hem and Hoa, had very complex brains. With the least set emotion, they made like the maze were complicated and challenging. They realized more sophisticated methods found the cheese, depending on the ability to think and learn from past experience, or their ability sometimes clouded by the look they think. Eventually, in their own way, they all discovered what they were looking for. They each found their own candy cheese one day at the end of the corridors in Cheese Station C. Every morning after that, the mice and the little people, dressed in their learning gear, and headed over to Cheese Station C. It wasn't too long before they each established their own routine. Sniff and Scurry continued to wake early every day and race through the maze, always following the same route. When they arrived at their destination, the mice took off their running shoes, tied them together, and hung them around their necks so they could get to them quickly whenever they needed them again. Then they enjoyed the cheese. In the beginning, Ham and Hoa also raced toward Cheese Station C every morning to enjoy the tasty new morsel that awaited them. But after a while, a different routine set in for the little people. Ham and Hoa awoke each day a little later, dressed a little slower, and walked to Cheese Station C. After all, they knew what the cheese was now, and how to get there. They had no idea where the cheese came from or who put it there. They just assumed it'd be there. As soon as Ham and Hoa arrived at Cheese Station C each morning, they settled then, made themselves at home. They hung up their jogging suit, put away their running shoes, and put on their slippers. They became very comfortable now that they had found the cheese. "This is great," Ham said. There's enough cheese here to last us forever." The little people felt happy and successful, and thought they were now secure. It wasn't long before Ham and Hoa regarded the cheese they found at Cheese Station C as their cheese. It wasn't long before Ham and Hoa regarded the cheese they found at Cheese Station C as their cheese. It was such a large store of cheese that they eventually moved their homes to be closer to it. As their cheese. It was such a large store of cheese that they eventually moved their home to be close to it. To be closer to it, and built a social life around it. To make themselves feel more at home, Ham and Hoa decorated the wall with saying, and even drew pictures of cheese around them, which made them smile. One read, "Having cheese makes you happy." Sometimes Ham and Hoa would take their friends by to see their pile of cheese at Cheese Station C and pointed to it with pride, saying, "Pretty nice cheese, huh?" Pretty nice cheese, huh? Sometimes they shared with their friends, and sometimes they didn't. "We deserve this cheese," Ham said. We certainly had a long and hard enough find it." He picked up the nice fresh piece and ate it. After Ham fell asleep, as he often did. Every night the little people would waddle home full of cheese, and every morning they would confidently return for more. This went on for quite some time. After a while, Ham's and Haw's confidence grew into arrogance and success. Soon they became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. As time went on, Sniff and Scurry continued their routine. They arrived there early each morning, and sniffed and scratched and scurried around Cheese Station C, inspecting the area to see if there had been any changes from the day before. Then they would sit down to nibble on the cheese. One morning they arrived at Cheese Station C and discovered there was no cheese. They weren't surprised, since Sniff and Scurry had noticed the supply of cheese had been getting smaller every day. They were prepared for the inevitable and knew instinctively what to do. They looked at each other, removed the running shoes they had tied together and hung convenient around their necks, put them on their feet, and laced them up. The mice did not overanalyze things, and to the mice, and the answer were both simple. The situation at the Station C had changed, so Sniff and Scurry decided to change. They both looked out in amaze. Then Sniff lifted his nose, sniffed, and nodded to Scurry, who took off running through the maze, where Sniff followed as fast as could. They were quickly off in search of new cheese. Later that same day, Ham and Hoa arrived at Cheese Station C. They had not been paying attention to the small changes that had been taking place each day, so they took it for granted their cheese would be there. They were unprepared for what they found. "What? No cheese?" Ham yelled. He continued yelling, "No cheese? No cheese?" And so if you shouted louder, someone would pull back. "Who moved my cheese?" he hollered. Finally, he put his hands on his hips. His face turned red, and he screamed at the top of his voice, "It's not fair!